But perhaps most devastating of them all, Russian Onlyfans users were unable to load their content as of Saturday night, which means no viewers, which means no income for OnlyFans Russians workers. Okay,
Don't have to punish the rest of us.
I agree, Wes.
You are.
There it is.
Hell yeah, boss.
Oh, hey.
Oh yeah.
Good morning and welcome to episode 889 of Hard Factor. It is Tuesday, March 1st, 2022. Thank you for cheating on the news with us. We got Mark, Pat, Wes, and I'm Will to talk about what in the cup of coffee in the big time today, Wes?
We're going to talk a little Mardi Gras, get things off, have a little fun in the beginning, and then we're going to talk about
It's Bad Tuesday, right?
It is, yeah. And then a lot of bad shit that's going on in Ukraine. Some good stuff, I guess, but mostly bad.
I also feel like
bad.
Before we do
Those wars, they're usually pretty shitty.
Yeah, mostly bad.
we got to point out, because every year we got to point
Put
out
on some Mardi Gras beats.
on March 1st that they're really shorting you on your February rent days. They just
They
do
really
it.
are.
They just short you on the February rent days. Rent just comes super quick. You pay the same amount of money. You get less days. I'm just saying.
It's true, but it's all uphill after this fuck job. Like once after
the 31s coming at me.
Yeah, there's gonna be some 31s. Like it's all uphill after this February bukkake. Yeah.
It's a real dry tug job, February.
Nice.
Yeah. I got a question. Are we on the road to 1,000 now, or are we going to make a big stink about 900? Because I feel like 888 was a great
I mean 900 is
episode.
not that big of a deal.
I
right?
think we're on the road to 1,000, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we're on the road with that. Speaking of tug jobs, TikTok International Moment has some sex again, but way fewer penises. So let that be a clue on what's going to happen.
I like
there.
it.
A little scissoring.
Oh, we're talking about what stories we're doing. Okay, not how the landlords
Less
are
penises, the
wronging us.
better.
All right, I got a tease for you. I have a story about Texans or a Texan, and what do you not mess with Texans? Their guns, their dogs, and
Ice.
God's good. What
They're
else?
coolers.
They're barbecue, right?
Their barbecue. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. And then
Don't mess with my Yeti.
oh yeah, and they're Yeti coolers. Yes.
Yeah.
But you could, and it'd be fine because that thing's goddamn indestructible. Am I right?
You better not put something
Amen.
in there, though.
Yeah,
that's
good luck.
injection. That's an injection mold. Unfortunately, made in China. But hopefully they routed that wrong.
Tire yourself out, pal.
Hey, check this out. I'm about to put a fish in this Yeti cooler, lock it up, watch a bear go at it for about an hour. Then we're going fishing. No, seriously, the bear can't get it.
Great products.
What's the worst thing that can happen to you on a subway platform? That's what we're talking about in the two spot.
Oh, it's the update on the guy who was injecting semen in people's butts.
Not close, different.
Get thrown in front of a train.
Second worst thing that can happen to you on a subway platform.
Wow, I'm excited. And speaking of semen injectors,
The other body fluid.
yeah. Speaking of semen injectors, Hunter Biden deep dive. Patreon.com/hard factor. That is this week's Hive Hour, a Hunter Biden deep dive. He's quite the semen injector himself. Lots of kids.
Yeah.
So we go through everything, his early days, his middle days, his scandal days, his crack days, which is basically most days, but it's a lot. It's a lot to cover.
Big chunk of crack days there.
Yeah.
It's a wraparound.
Lots of different chunks of crack days throughout the timeline.
Yeah.
Guy had a tough hand, okay?
Sure did.
He did,
Right.
and learned all about it. Hive Hour, patreon.com/hard factor.
Well, there you go.
Okay.
Shall we?
Let's do it.
Yeah. Cup of coffee in the big time.
Fun fact of the day. According to Arthur Hardy, who is a premier authority on Mardi Gras in New Orleans, items have been tossed off the floats since at least 1871. And during the 12th night revelers parade a masked Santa Claus aboard float number 24 threw gifts to the crowd. So in 1884, they started using medallions instead of trinkets. These medallions are represented by today's, beads, the blooms, aluminum.
When you go to the parades in New Orleans, they actually have the beads will be specific for the different parades. They'll have actual cool shit on them.
Right.
When did they start meaning "show me your tits"?
Pretty soon,
probably right away. Yeah,
right away.
I mean, it's always
Santa Claus.
Mardi Gras is always a
83.
debauchery thing, Mark. So it's always getting all your sins out before Lent. So it's always been about having a good time.
That's right.
Yeah.
Wait, which sin? My left sin or my right sin? Because I'm getting them out.
Get them all out, buddy, because you got 40 days and 40 nights coming up.
That's true.
Also, the quote, "Throw me something, mister." Those are the magic words used to catch, to get the people to throw stuff to you. Also, the magic words are, "Hey, check out these honkers, mister." That'll do it too. I remember.
Don't show your dick though. Immediate arrest.
Don't show your dick. I remember growing up, I would go to my gam in my granddad's house, and my gam had the beads like Will's wearing around his neck, just all on her bedpost, and I didn't know exactly how she
lived down there.
How'd you get those, Gam?
I didn't know how she quite got those until I got a lot older. I used to play with them.
If you've lived down there for a while, my house has constantly got Mardi Gras.
Gam used to be a bad girl.
Gam just loved Mardi Gras, Wes.
Well, my aunt and uncle used to live in New Orleans. So
right, exactly. It just means that she loved Mardi Gras. Everybody who's down there has a whole fucking attic full of beads. Look.
There's a lot of gams that have flashed at Mardi Gras. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Yeah.
It's not exactly an
Good
exclusive
for
club.
Really.
Not an exclusive club.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. Let's move on to holidays. There is a shit ton of holidays today. I'm just going to cover a few. Fat
First
Tuesday,
month.
of course. Another fun fact, Fat Tuesday. It's given that Lent was a season of fasting, it makes sense that the households would traditionally consume all the remaining foods that were forbidden during Lent: meat, eggs, dairy. As Ash Wednesday approached, that's why it's Fat Tuesday. So
Ash Wednesday was also Plumber Wednesday. It sounds like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Oh, that's not Ash.
Yeah, Ass Wednesday. You know what I mean? On the can.
I mean, Mardi Gras really it literally translates to Fat Tuesday.
That's right. Absolutely. It's also National Peanut Butter Lovers Day, so I'm one of them. Beer Day in Iceland, so that's cool. International Women of Color Day, Self-Injury Awareness Day. Pretty sure you're well aware if you self-injure yourself, but not really. I don't know.
I want to give a heads up to my son.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, babies, they're the ones who need to know that. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that? Will that kill me? I'm in.
They don't know. They just go head
Stairs.
first right into it.
It's also National Dadgum That's Good Day, which is dedicated to sharing delicious meals and connecting with family. So there you go.
That one got through, huh?
Dadgum.
Is that just Fat Tuesday for Christians? It's just like the
Fat
Bible
Tuesday
Belt
for
version
Texans,
of Fat
yeah.
Tuesday.
We're going to get a little crazy today, too. We're going to eat a lot. Yeah.
Fat Tuesday.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to eat heavy and pray heavy today. Yeah.
On this day in history, 1872, the establishment of Yellowstone's first national park. So that's cool. It's also Justin Bieber's birthday. He was born in 94. So happy birthday, Justin. 1932, the Lindbergh kidnapping happened. He was the Lindbergh baby was abducted from his home and was later found dead. So that's too bad.
I think the baby probably died before he left the property, unfortunately.
It's a genuine Lindbergh.
Not
Yeah.
good.
Not good. Also, this is a good one. Hopefully this happens to Putin. 1953, after an all-night movie and dinner session with his top advisors, Joseph Stalin suffered a stroke and he died 4 days later. So,
Damn.
yeah.
He was doing the dadgum. It's good.
Yeah.
He was. Dude, that's a great movie, Death of Stalin. If you
it's
haven't
funny.
watched that Coen Brothers movie, it's funny as shit.
Yeah.
Buscemi is like the top guy who's like super shady. He's hilarious in it.
It's like in the style of like Veep or any Coen Brothers film. It's all dialogue, dry humor. Yeah, it's funny.
But it's all about Stalin and how
Yeah.
much of a psycho he is in his last 4 days, like those days while he was like struggling in his deathbed.
Yeah, it's funny.
Just one mention today. School children in California, Oregon, and Washington will no longer be required to wear masks as part of a new indoor mask policy. The Democratic governors in all those 3 states, announced jointly Monday, saying, quote, "We're with declining cases and hospitalizations across the West, California, Oregon, and Washington are moving together to update their masking guidance." And there are more than 7.5 million school-age children across those states. So the new guidance, What's you're gonna say, Mark?
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, the new guidance will
Good for the kids. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. They'll make face coverings a recommendation rather than a requirement. And this will all go into effect March 12th. So great news for most kids, not so great news for the ugly kids who will now be, bullied even further into submission.
Right.
But
oh man, do they have a heads up? Because this is like where like severe acne treatment should have been going on the past couple weeks.
Nah, there was a study, Mark.
I bet they let it go. I bet they let themselves go.
I don't want to think about this because I had seen right before the mask mandate started ending, I had seen a study where masks make the vast majority of people more attractive.
Oh yeah.
And it's a very low percentage of people who look better when they take their masks off. And so basically unmasking is going to be tough.
It's going to be a nightmare. I had to take Accutane in middle school.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have been one of those kids that was like, "Oh, I'm an idiot. We're gonna be wearing masks forever." And then all of a sudden, I take my mask off and I have 50 pimples.
You still can, Mark. They're recommended, not required. The New York City Public Schools looking at the same thing. I heard on the news yesterday. It was real funny. Whoever is in charge of New York City Public Schools was like, "Now don't make me shut the state down again, okay?" He's like, "We're gonna give you the masks back, but I don't want to shut this state down again, okay?" It was like a dad at a sleepover being like, "I'm going to turn the movie back on."
Yeah, like it's people's like people have any control over whether the numbers go up or down.
Get vaccine.
No making out in class, Yeah.
If I have to shut this state down again, I swear to God.
I'm going to be the only one that makes a decision that has any impact on this at all, but I'm going to yell at you about it.
I'm going to play the scene with the boobies, but I want to see hands over eyes.
So that's good news for the kids. Not so great for the Mildreds and the Virgils. But it's time to face the music, get back to normal. And that means ridiculing you. So I'm sorry. Okay.
Bunch of pizza faces.
Yeah, bunch of pizza faces getting ridiculed.
My mom says I gotta keep wearing it. Sorry.
Great excuse, though.
It's my mom's fault.
Our family's really worried about COVID. Just keep it on if you don't want to take it off. Yeah.
My mom's real strict when it comes to this stuff.
Just eating under the mask, pulling it far enough off.
Flakes of skin falling off their forehead.
Yeah.
But their eyes look good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, guys, we got a lot to cover, so let's get to the cream of the crop.
The cream of the crop!
And of course, we're going back to Ukraine. Some major updates. First, some good news. You guys remember the clip of the defiant Ukrainian soldiers on Snake Island? They told the Russian warship to go fuck itself, and then they were allegedly all killed. Well, now Ukraine is saying they are alive, and they're saying they're well. They're probably not well, but according to the Navy, the soldiers on the island repelled two attacks by Russian forces, but in the end, they were forced to surrender because they ran out of ammo. So the Russian state media also confirmed this by, I guess they showed some pictures of the soldiers. So they're not dead, they're alive, but they are prisoners of war basically right now.
Oh man, well that's great to hear. That one made me cry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I hope they're not dead. It can't be great being captured by the Russians after you told them to go fuck themselves, though. So
right,
yeah.
and with the Russians getting their asses kicked, Putin's probably ordering them to get well, hopefully they get released soon.
It's like their president Vladimir said, they just need more ammo. All right, everybody.
Yeah.
That's right.
Get them some.
And they're getting some. They're getting some more ammo. Like people, like Finland is sending over a bunch of rifles and anti-tank.
Those Finnish rifles are going to be accurate as fuck. Too.
Oh,
clean.
What if everyone from Iceland on beer day today gets hammered and just goes over and kicks some Russian ass? What if they all get drunk and
The
worked
Vikings
up?
just roll down.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Well, the Russians don't want to see the
all of
Finns,
Scandinavia
that's
gets
for sure.
hammered on beer day and just rolls in.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
Yeah.
Vladimir P would not be happy about that.
No, but it's not all good. Like we said, it is war. First, let's go to Kharkiv, I think is how you say it. Remember yesterday, it seemed like the Ukrainian army was holding off the Russians. They claimed to have complete control of the city. Well, Ukrainian officials on Monday accused Russian forces of launching a barrage of rockets on residential neighborhoods in Ukraine's second largest city. So they killed at least 9 civilians. Some reports say dozens. They injured dozens. And this was just as Ukraine and Russian officials were meeting in Belarus to begin their peace talks, as they're saying. And here's some video.
That's a little sneaky, isn't it? Like we're meeting for peace talks, but then
Well,
we're
this
gonna
is
launch
also
an
the
all-out
city-
attack.
Yeah, for
Yes.
sure. This is also the city we've been talking about for the last like 3 or 4 shows.
Kharkiv,
It was
that's what Google
right.
said.
I think Wes said the Ukrainian pronunciation, but
Yeah.
it's basically between the disputed area in the east and then Kyiv, and then they, the Russians had claimed they had taken it over, and then the Ukrainians said that they had retaken it. Right,
correct.
In the last like couple
Yes,
of days.
on Sunday they said they took it back over completely
Right.
from the Russians,
And then
pushed
so
it back.
now this happens after all that drama.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so I got some crazy video without sound to show you guys. So this is just them shelling the fuck out of some residential neighborhoods.
Wow.
You will see an apartment complex in the distance. Look, I mean, people are still on the streets driving around. There's an apartment
crazy.
complex that's just on fire, smoking in the distance, and then just I mean, total destruction.
Wow.
Yeah, this is all Kharkiv,
intense
and then this
fighting in that city. Wow.
Yeah, and then there's this crazy. This is an undetonated rocket sticking out of the ground in
Saw
a
that one,
residential
yeah.
area.
There's been a few of
the
those.
city. Yeah, it's
Soviet
nuts.
era tech. A lot of jokes on that.
Yeah,
coming
that's
out.
why you don't put your brand name on your rockets, as tempting as it might be. But on
That's
that,
true, Pat. Well, real quick to interrupt you, because if they do go off, no one sees the brand anyways. So it's
Right, I know.
only bad news if you put your
take the
brand, on.
off
Yeah.
the rocket.
Yeah.
But no, so I think they're calling this a war crime, right? The shelling of these civilian areas, and they were
Yes.
saying earlier, this broke earlier in the week, there's a cluster munition that's widely effectively been decried as a war crime using this munition because of the way that
Right.
it breaks up.
I saw a general tweet about that. Right,
And
Yeah.
the U.S. and Russia are the only 2 countries that have not said no, we won't use this anymore. But they're definitely using that thing essentially because they can't guarantee it won't hit
Right.
someplace way off the target.
Civilian.
I think Pat, I started following a general who ZBT suggested, and he was saying that he thinks the Russians are using those
They are.
things you're just saying.
Are you
Yeah.
telling me Russia's committing war crimes?
Well, again,
Yeah.
the U.S. and Russia are
The-
the only 2 countries that have not signed the treaty.
Well, the country that had
Yeah,
a 50,
that makes sense.
the
When
country
you-
that had a 15-year-old juice to her gills on steroids for the Olympics is committing war crimes.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
They
the
don't
country
give a
who's
fuck.
copying our Iraq move right now.
Yeah.
like Ukraine.
Could you imagine though? Could you imagine just like being in your apartment and fucking shelling starts? Like I can't fathom what that's like. Like that's so absolutely insane.
Russia's the
horrible.
people that agree to the war rules and then know that they're going to purposely break every single one. They're like, obviously, we do the opposite of this.
Right. Well, so
Putin? That's
Yeah.
Putin for you.
yeah, that's Putin. He's just buying himself some time to regain control of all this shit, in my opinion. I mean, he's like, hey, well, don't give us the full force of the UN and NATO. We're trying to be peaceful, but yet he's shelling fucking civilians. So the mayor of Kharkiv went on Facebook and said, quote, "Today show that this is not only a war, it is a murder of us, the Ukrainian people. This is the first time in the many-year history that the city of Kharkiv has been through something like this, shells that hit residential homes, killing and maiming innocent citizens." So, yeah, it's not fucking good.
I mean, we did this in Dresden, right? Like in World War II, when effectively you hit a point in the war where the only thing you could do to potentially break the Nazi spirit was to, burn an entire city.
Right, bomb their
Right.
civilians.
I don't see how we're there yet. That's the weird thing.
Well,
right?
but
It's like-
that's because Putin's, I think, is frustrated that he hasn't taken over the country. I think he thought that this was going to be like a Sunday drive.
He
He
did.
did.
Reports
And,
were he
you
thought
know.
it'd be 1 to 3 days, and that he's just up
Yeah.
in his castle, just
Well,
like
he's pissed.
spitting angry, being like,
Right.
"Why aren't we?" Well, yeah.
The
Yeah,
more
the
angry he
ruble's
gets,
falling.
the more bombs are
Yeah.
going to fly.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
So again, this all happened right before these peace talks were supposed to happen. Let's go to those talks. Let's talk about it. So shockingly, the New York Times reported that initial talks between Russia and Ukraine concluded without anything happening on Monday evening. Both delegations returned to their respective, capitals. And so what the Ukrainians want is a ceasefire and to end the fucking war, right?
That
That's
makes
what they want, right? Obviously. And what Putin
Fair.
wants
it seems like a fair
Yeah.
request.
seems pretty fair. And then
Stop killing us.
right. And the Kremlin wants its security demands taken into account unconditionally, Putin told the French president Macron that he wants to include this is the sovereignty over Crimea, the demilitarizing and denazifying of the Ukrainian state, and ensuring its neutral status, and to give up the right to join NATO. So those are him.
Okay.
You can't call Ukraine Nazis when the president's Jewish and when you're the closest thing since Hitler.
Obviously, but that's insane. That's his tactic that he was doing in the speech before.
It's like saying you can out Pizza the Hut. It's just not true.
Yeah, no one does that.
Like, these peace talks are bullshit. They're just all bullshit. Putin's is shelling civilians. It's not going anywhere.
Someone brought up in the Discord, Garrett brought up in the Discord, and there's something I've been thinking about the whole time, right? It's like, you have a nuclear power here and a madman. And I think that, that's one of the reasons that Joe Biden waited until France pledged their NATO troops, until we pledged ours, right? And has been leaning on Boris in the UK to impose sanctions. Essentially, so it's a group thing. So it's not just one country doing it, it's all the country. It's the world doing it.
Right.
And that has to be because of the nuclear option, right?
Right, a nuclear deterrent
but
strategy.
Is there any news on that? Is it just assumed that, we're not going there, and this is just, we're going to keep this?
Well, no, I mean, Putin keeps threatening it. He just, the more upset he gets, the more he threatens to use tactical nuclear strikes as part of his strategy. But I think everybody's just kind of calling his bluff, right? Because, look, if the guy sets off a nuke in Ukraine, everybody's going to invade Russia so fast your head will spin, and his head will be on a spike within a week.
But that country has enough nukes to destroy the world.
Well, I get it, but they
can't fire them all off accurately and destroy the world. That's not how it's going to work. They would destroy a country, and then it would be
right. He would get
very serious retaliation,
right?
Probably nukes, and that would be really bad.
It would be horrible. And so I think everybody's just basically calling the bluff because they know, based on the theory of mutual destruction, that nobody's going to actually push that button. And so you have to move forward assuming that nobody's going to push that button. And if they did, it's a complete game changer.
Right.
It's so negative.
But in some respects, that's a gentleman's war, right? And it's weird to think that there's even a gentleman's war.
Hey, Pat, the aliens. Why do you think there's more alien sightings?
I agree.
Right?
When everybody's fighting, they're going to come down and stop this thing. If the nukes get,
you don't need to worry about it because we have the aliens. So
you only need to say ale, and I knew what you're saying. And I agree.
We go. See,
now you're calm.
We can all agree that that's hopefully what happens with some.
The aliens have now become my god.
Yeah,
effectively, I prayed to them.
We're looking for triangles and discs to come intercept those nukes.
Yeah. So another meeting will take place in the coming days. We'll see what happens. And then Kyiv is being surrounded, and people, like we touched on yesterday, are running out of food. I came across this tweet video from Mark Caputo from, I think, NBC. And he said in his tweet, he said, Stalin used starvation as one of his mass murdering tactics to break Ukraine 90 years ago. It has a name called Holodomor, which means to kill by starvation. And here is a video that I found.
Saturday night, and this morning, Monday morning, is the first time that people have been able to get out of their houses to get some groceries. So we come to this grocery store where there are lines all the way around the block.
As old as people are, just want to get some food, and maybe it's gonna feel a little better if you have some food in your fridge. So it's all about that right now. Simple things.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So what was it like with the curfew?
Well, it's stressful, of course, because you can't sleep. And, you go up and down all the time. You see the sirens going on, and it just drains you.
So there you have it.
That sucks.
They're not sleeping. They're starving, and it's going to get real bad real soon.
Luckily, that won't happen. I mean, what was happening in World War II is there was no supplies anywhere, right? Every supply was stretched thin. So if those people start starving, they'll get aid.
Right? Won't people drop care packages?
They would have to airdrop them in, because Russia's has complete. If you saw the convoys, I don't know if you talk about the convoys.
I do. Yeah. Look, this is 17 miles outside of Kyiv.
This is the Holodomor part where they're literally they've sent almost the full army to surround Kiev. So like,
starve them out.
there's no coming in or out of Kiev unless
them.
you get in a huge battle with Russian troops.
They're setting up a perimeter around Kiev,
Right.
with Russian troops.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's not good.
But that thing is they're just probably I would guess they're going to set up the perimeter and then they'll be in a better spot to handle negotiations, right? Because how long you can then you hold the perimeter? And then what's the point of even taking the city if you know you can't hold it if you even got it? So it's like it's a real like cat and mouse game. It's just insane though. But
they're
hopefully
just being dicks. They're trying to starve them.
hopefully the Ukrainians
pinch
right.
in on them. Like
hopefully Ukrainians get some food. They can hold out. You know.
And if you airdrop, it's kind of like, are you worried Russian people are going to shoot you out of the sky if you're like whoever's airdropping NATO?
Well, right, but if they do and they announce it beforehand, then it becomes like a
Zelensky
thing,
must
right?
have left Kiev to go to Belarus, and
No, he didn't.
He didn't.
He didn't go to the first round of talks. He said it was pointless.
Yeah.
Well, bummer, man.
And then a couple more things. So, people are still fleeing. Here's a map of, at least 500,000 people are fleeing, mostly to Poland, about 281,000 people, Slovakia, Hungary, Romania. The UN is looking for nearly 2 billion in donations for Ukrainians who have been forced from their homes. So Mark, you'll like this one. The ambassador for Ukraine at the UN, Sergei Kilistisa, called on Putin to kill himself at yesterday meeting.
Hell yeah.
That guy's hilarious. Yeah.
Yes.
The Ukrainian UN ambassador.
I like that. Yeah.
There he is. He said, if Putin wants to kill himself, he doesn't need to use nuclear arsenal. He has to do what the guy in Berlin did in a bunker in May 1945.
Yeah.
So comparing him to Hitler.
Him and the Russian ambassador.
I love that.
Into it at the UN. Yeah.
They did. Also, Wes, I feel like we got to stop making fun of Poland. They're allowing hundreds and hundreds of thousands of Ukrainians.
Oh, they're stepping up bigger than anybody.
Anybody with absolutely no questions asked. They're not quarantining. Yeah. They're letting their pets and stuff in. Those dumb bastards are so kind.
They don't know any better.
They're stepping up huge though.
They are. Good for you, Paul. Also, Will, you're like this one. The European Space Agency said its mission with Russia to land a robot on Mars is likely going to be put on hold for a little bit.
Oh, you think? You think nobody? Yeah. I saw that the Russian cosmonaut up in the ISS keeps threatening to crash the ISS to Earth. And it's like, fucking
What's
do
wrong
it,
with
idiot.
you?
Go ahead and do it. Then we'll build a new one that you're not allowed to be a part of, you fucking moron.
Yeah.
Just stay up there and shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Russia needs to chill the fuck out.
Yeah. So we're freezing more assets.
I will fucking crash it into the earth. Like, shut
FIFA,
up, dude.
Dude, they're such dicks. FIFA kicked them out completely.
Yeah, they did.
FIFA and UEFA, who is corrupt to the core, finally decided to remove Russia completely from soccer.
Yep. And they suspended all the Russian teams from competition. And then more sanctions are coming from France and European nations. Quote, the goal is to increase the cost of war for Putin in the hopes that he will change his calculation. And so more sanctions coming. Hopefully they're going to squeeze Putin out. The ruble is collapsing down to their 25% yesterday. So, hopefully he'll kill themselves.
Man, I'll tell you what. So like the Czech Republic, Poland, and Sweden and England said that they wouldn't fuck with Russia in the World Cup qualifiers next month, right? And
they're not allowed. They're not allowed.
No, I know.
FIFA,
I was independent of the FIFA thing, but they were like, we're just not going to do it. And part of me was like, nah, man. Like, I want to see this in sport. I kind of want to see it on a different playing field. I feel you. The right thing to do is to ban them, but I also want to see them like get their asses kicked in sport.
Yeah, but that's such a small victory.
I know.
We'll talk about more about.
I'd rather them just be banned from everything.
The big victory is that not only Finland is giving munitions, but who else? Sweden.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Sweden
and Switzerland came
awesome.
out against Putin, which is like they never take a side.
Yeah, like the neutral countries are taking a side. The Taliban's calling them evil. Like, this is the most shitty move in the past, 70, 80 years. Like, this is evil. This is fucked up from a country, because it's under Putin. So
also, Zelensky signed an application for Ukraine to join the European Union. So
it's formality. I mean, I think that is the path forward for Ukraine in the future, but it wouldn't happen for years. It's just
shaking hands.
Right.
If that got accepted, does not mean that everyone would have to go to war with them. That's the deal with.
It's not going to get accepted during this.
I know. I'm not expecting it to get accepted.
Years long application process. But yeah, I think
this
in the
would
future,
prevent a future invasion.
I think in the future, I think NATO is more of like the military alliance, but the EU certainly would have more protections for Ukraine as part of Europe helping them than exists now with them being totally independent.
Yeah.
See, if they were part of the EU, it would move them into a Finland situation, which is not in NATO, but in the EU, which is definitely going to be a better situation for them than completely independent.
Whatever it takes for Putin to stop invading them, let's get him in that plan soon.
Well, this might teach him, I think honestly, like how hard this has been, if he really miscalculated as badly as people were thinking,
especially because he is one of the concerns that he has, right? Other than them being Nazis, which is illegitimate, right? And the fact that the United States did something similar, which is somewhat legitimate, I guess. One of the concerns he has is the strategic positioning that someone could have by putting a nuke in Ukraine, right?
Right.
But like if we fight this war and we say no, man, and there's no nukes deployed, it kind of defeats its fucking purpose, right? If we say we're not playing that game, man.
Yeah, I think that at the end, what he's asking for, which is like to have Crimea and the Donbass be part of Russia, and then Ukraine doesn't get to join NATO but joins the EU. That seems like an actual like sort of negotiation that you would have seen.
Like, why should we even give him that
beforehand?
Well, he already took the beach.
I agree,
Crimea
Wes,
is the beach of
but,
Ukraine.
But he already did control a lot of that land. So
at this point, he should be told you're not getting anything.
Right. I agree with Mark. They should be killed at this point.
Yeah, at this point, if you want, I mean,
but you're going to get
killed.
Involved, or what? What do you?
Anyone that needs to kill the guy, Russian citizens, NATO.
I just don't think you need to. You shouldn't be negotiating with him.
No.
At this
Yeah,
point.
see, I mean, NATO getting involved would precipitate World War III. So I think that's like off the table.
You got to get the people, man. Right now, the people of Russia get their news from TV, right? That's the majority of the place they get their news from, and the people that get fired up in our country around elections stupidly. I'm not going to say who they are, but we know who they are. Who do dumb shit because they get bad information. We got to make sure that doesn't happen with the Russian people. Yes, I meant.
Well, in general, this war propaganda is whipping people up to levels that is probably undesirable.
But you're talking about tizzes?
What I'm saying is there's an information war.
He's talking about the other side.
I mean, that's how you beat it. You beat it from the inside. You let the people.
No, I agree with you. I think that Russian citizens need to. I think they're going to play a big role in stopping this eventually. I think that Russian citizens need to step up. And I know that might be naive, but then the oligarchs that are getting their yachts taken away and their sanctions need to decide to put someone new in power. The Russian citizens and the rich Russians need to look internally here and change this.
They need to look into their soligarchs.
Yeah, they're soligarchs, exactly.
Shirt's still available, by the way. Store.hardfactor.com. We've sold a bunch of them, so thank you for everyone who's bought one so far. Really helping out. Almost to like $1,000 raised.
And that's all going to people who are basically escaping, right?
Yeah, that's all going to pretty much the refugees.
Border. It's going to Poland.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hopefully they know what to do with it.
Yeah,
they do.
Confused.
Maybe we should rethink that.
Yeah.
At least right now. No. They're on a heater. Don't play the hot hand, Wes. Don't.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Picture this. It's late February. It's the doldrums of winter. You're a 43-year-old woman. You're a working class New Yorker. You live in the Bronx. And every day you make the almost hour-long commute both ways by train to your job in Lower Manhattan. And you've noticed an uptick in sketchy activity on the subway over the last year or so, but you figure it's probably just people going pandemic crazy. Although random violence,
Now war crazy. It's like
I know.
out of the frying pan into the fire. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but this has been going on since the pandemic. So you figure maybe it's pandemic crazies. Who knows? But random subway violence in New York City has really reached a fever pitch. But you take solace in the speech that Mayor Eric Adams gave just 3 days earlier, where he rolled out the Subway Safety Plan, which, if you didn't hear, is an initiative meant to crack down on violence on New York's mass transit. So it won't be long now until things are turning around, right?
Good.
So you take some comfort in that. Change is coming as you patiently wait for the southbound train to pick you up from East 241st Street Station. And out of the corner of your eye, you spy another potential rush hour traveler just sauntering toward your direction, and he seems to be carrying something in his hand, a plastic bag of some sort. Maybe he's
CD?
returning. Could
Mixtape?
be.
Yeah.
Could be. I don't know. What's in there? Maybe he went to the Dollar
Plastic
General.
bag.
Maybe he went
just,
to the Mark.
Black porn bag.
right.
be-
Yeah.
No.
Just like a poorly packed lunch for work.
No, it's a white plastic one. But you
Yeah.
only give him a glance before focusing your eyes back on the tracks. It's not polite to stare, and you'll be home in no time. But as the man comes closer, you notice that he glances at you. Maybe he needs directions. You've been riding these rails since you were a teenager and you know him like the back of your hand. So you look up to see if you can be of some assistance. And then bam, your face is met with the plastic bag he was carrying.
Okay.
For no reason at all, the man shoves the bag and the contents therein directly into your face.
Oh, no.
And you jolt forward and away from the man, leaning forward in your chair as the man moves past you. And then he goes back to give you one last smear of the bag to the back of your head, making sure the entirety of the contents of the bag are covering your head.
What's in the bag? It sounds like
Well, that's
What's
when
in the
smell-
bag?
That's when the smell hits you, Will.
Mhm.
yeah.
A smell that can only be one thing.
Mhm.
Human or animal?
This man has covered you in human shit. Now I'm going to
Homeless
play you the
shit.
video.
This is a if somebody was to crime of passion, beat somebody to death over this, you'd have to understand as the judge.
You'd let him go.
Yeah.
Again, speaking of Ass Wednesday.
I'm going to play you the video,
Right on the
guys.
forehead.
I'm going to play you the video that the NYPD released.
Man.
And I'm going to tell you, there was no sound in this video, so I added sound of what I thought it might sound like. Okay,
Right.
Nice.
It's pretty accurate if you ask me.
Okay.
But here we go, guys. Here's the video.
Definitely don't have shit in this bag. There's hot shit. There's not shit, hot shit in this bag. What about you?
Bam! Yeah, you like that? That's my shit. That's my shit, Dave. Oh, you get a little bit more shit. Get a little bit more shit on it. Wash your face with it.
Oh my goodness.
Oh no!
Nothing to see here. Didn't just rub shit in that lady's face. No, not one me. Wasn't.
Dude, what the
Oh,
my
what
God.
a psycho. What a psycho. He
He
wipes
knows-
it on her like he was
He knew
spreading
her.
it.
He knew her, right?
No, you guys want to watch it again?
Like he was
Yeah,
spreading it
yeah,
like
yeah.
he was
Again.
like he was spreading a peanut butter jelly sandwich on her
Let's
head.
watch it again now that we
It was
know.
his job.
One more time.
Definitely don't have shit in this bag. There's hot shit. There's not shit, hot shit in this bag. What about you?
Bam! Yeah, you like that? That's my shit.
Jeez.
That's my shit,
I
Dave.
see it drop on the
Get a little bit more
ground.
shit. Get a little bit more shit on it. Wash
They
your face
blurred
with
her
it.
head, thank God.
Oh, she dropped her cell phone.
Nothing to see here. Didn't just rub shit in that lady's face. No, not
Why
one
did
me.
he do that?
Straight
What a
past the camera.
psycho.
I mean, the guy's an idiot because he's walking past cameras with no mask on.
He's mentally ill.
Yeah, and I'm
think?
so glad they
And
they
physically,
blurred her
because the
head.
poop consistency.
God damn.
That was just an
Mentally,
old fat
it's
lady.
real.
It's like a 60-year-old fat woman
She's
who
43.
can't even get. Okay, sorry. Well, I couldn't.
I have
see
a
her head. It was
feeling.
blurred
I
out.
have a feeling she didn't let him sit down one day on the metro, and he's been waiting to get her.
You think?
Oh,
Yeah.
It
Oh,
looked
yeah.
like he knew her.
He had a beef with her from previous rides on the metro.
she wasn't going to run away. That's for sure.
Here's the suspect. He's the video released by police officers offers a clear image of him. He's wearing black pants, an oversized blue sweater, a ball cap, and a do-rag. He's got a large duffel bag slung over his shoulder, and of course was carrying a plastic bag full of his own shit.
Armed with shit.
No, yeah, guys. Going back to the
They haven't caught this fucking guy yet.
no, they haven't caught him. So if you know this guy, please
Get your
contact
shit
New York
together, New York City.
New York City Police Department. I mentioned the initiative that Eric Adams brought forward. And just so you guys know, every morning when my spouse leaves the house, she says to me, if I die, you know where it'll be. And what she means is Penn Station.
New York City.
Yeah,
Oh, Penn Station.
specifically Penn Station. Because apparently the subways have gotten so fucking bad that they had to roll out this initiative. And about a week later, a woman who's a New York Department of Health scientist was kicked down a flight of stairs and struck repeatedly 9 times with a hammer at a Queens
Oh my
Plaza
God.
subway station.
Oh man, don't. What the fuck is
Why?
wrong?
Completely random.
Isn't Eric Adams supposed to be like a former cop? He's supposed to like clean up the fucking city. Get to work, motherfucker.
Yeah, but this is happening not just on the subways; it's happening everywhere in New York City.
Didn't a woman just get pushed in front of the
attacks.
subway?
Yes. So yes and no. It's happening very like most noticeably on the subways. Here's a graph of subway crime. Like
Up a shitload.
I don't know if it has to do with
man.
homelessness or
Up 20% in a year.
being out of jobs
my
or
God.
what it
That
is.
sucks because when you're going on the subway, you're going to work or you're going home, and you don't need to be extra stressed that someone's going to shove shit in your face or hit you over the head with a hammer. That you don't-
Overall crimes are up 50% in a year. Shootings are up 30%. Oh man, that's rape.
Yeah, that's New York Police Department's graph too.
Oh my goodness.
Not good.
Tough graph.
Man, but
Wow,
what do
New
you
York
do? You
City.
go home. Do you get the day off work the next day? You know, after like how do you explain that?
Yeah, you do. Yeah, I would hope so.
when you get shit rubbed all over you at the subway. Yeah.
Does Kate carry any kind of weapon with her? Like
I got her mace. She has mace.
Yeah.
Nice. I would move.
And good thing she's had some combat experience. I mean,
You'd think, but she's technically a brown belt in karate. But no, I think she's forgot it all.
I mean,
maybe it's like riding a bike. It'll kick in.
I'm always dropping in on her with a high kick, and she does. Yeah,
Pink Panther style. Yeah, you're Pink Panthering her.
I'd take her head off if I went all the way through.
Ronda Rousey, mom.
I'm sorry, but I'm moving from New York if someone smears shit in my face.
No, you're out, bro.
That day, I'm packing up and moving.
That graph makes you want to just sort of pack a bag if you're sitting in NYC.
But what are the odds of getting it twice, though? You feel like you got it out of the way. Like the odds of you getting it twice are so
I don't know.
It's
just done.
You might be
you're
marked.
done.
Here
you paid your dues.
Here he goes. I don't know. It might be like one of those insect things where they can smell that she's been scented.
He really wanted
other
it on
homeless
her,
people might be.
It's just the worst crime. It's one of the worst crimes you can do to somebody on the street.
He might tell his homeless buddies she was an easy target. She's going to be on the bench.
No, that's my thing.
What's okay? Would you rather that or the hot diarrhea bucket? Because this is probably the worst since the hot diarrhea bucket.
February shit from a plastic bag. This absolutely.
Let's play
LA diarrhea bucket.
Let's play a which one's worse with this, and then my story, which is coming later at the end of the show. I want to do a which one's worse.
Before we move on, just one question for you guys. At this point, where he goes back and makes sure it gets all, because if you're ever committing a crime, right, as soon as you've done it, the littlest bit, you're out. But he's done it, and then he goes back to make sure
all of her back and neck, all of her head, and then the head again. Oh man,
what's that about? You know,
I mean, it was a crime of passion. I think people are right about that. That's for sure. Crime of passion.
He'll also be wearing a mask on her with no problem right now, and he's an idiot for not wearing one.
That's so dumb, right?
He's not a mask guy.
Criminals that don't wear masks during the COVID era are the dumbest criminals on planet Earth.
Yeah. So if you know this guy, please call the police.
Pretty easy to identify him.
He had shit in a bag. It wasn't exactly a master.
Plan. Kevin, who shits in a bag,
yeah, always wears the blue do-rag.
Yeah.
uses the 241st Street subway station in the Bronx.
Not like he was like in a room with like blueprints, and like planning it out. It was pretty much he had a bag of shit, and whoever was there was going to.
He got the bag ready.
People know who this guy is.
I think the bag was lucky. I think he had to shit, and he had a bag. I think he
had
had shit in a bag, and then he didn't want to throw it away. He just dumped it on her. I think it was pretty quick, the whole process.
Well, NYC, get your shit together. Get this guy off the street. But it's time to pack our bags, fellas.
It's time for the TikTok International Moment.
Thank you very much, Darcel. Today's TikTok International Moment. First, taking it over to Russia, but probably not for the reasons that you guys expect. And then over to France after that. I'm pretty sure.
Better be to send our pubes to Russia.
We'll find out. Well, kind of. Taking it to Russia, like Wes was telling you, with the brutal sanctions raining down on Russia, the ruble is collapsing, going under a penny for the first time ever. Putin broke out the extra long desk to try and figure out why everybody hates him so much.
That desk is too much.
It is.
The bigger his desk gets, the worse it is for Ukraine. The angrier he gets. Yeah.
Also for Russia, though, it's worse for everybody. Putin's desk just gets longer the more angry he gets. Uber is dropping their partnership with Yandex. BP, British Petroleum, is dropping Russian oil. All big business moves. But perhaps most devastating of them all, Russian Onlyfans users were unable to load their content as of Saturday night, which means no viewers, which means no income for OnlyFans Russians workers. Okay,
don't have to punish the rest of us.
I agree, Wes. Taking it to the internet, Russian OnlyFans user at Bunny Mommy told Rolling Stone, "In short term, I don't have money to live. Many models are faced with this. Nobody thought it could happen. Blocking bank accounts of peaceful Russian people, blocking working pages, and freezing income won't help Ukraine. We are humans who really wish peaceful sky under Ukraine and want to help as much as we can," said Bunny Mommy, who claims that she's lost $8,000 in the first 48 hours of being locked out of her OnlyFans.
This is exactly how you end the war. If you get Russians that are like huge Bunny Mommy fans or whatever, to not be able to see her, they're going to start showing up and protesting.
Right.
In Moscow.
Hoppers, they call them.
Yeah.
They already have. We'll get to it. Another Russian user at Kitty, just plain at Kitty, she said, "Right now I don't have any funds to buy food or pay my rent. I've taken part in several protests since I moved to Moscow when I was 18. We are not Putin. All my prayers for peace and the Ukraine people." She didn't provide a picture for obvious reasons.
That's just terrible planning. And like if you're out of work a week and you can't buy food, then you need to figure out budgeting.
Pretty
soon,
soon,
girls are on OnlyFans. I don't think it's like their strong suit.
Pretty soon, I'm gonna be down to only eating these edible panties.
Right. Not to be shitty, but Bunny Mommy, she's got some reserves. She can last.
Bunny Mommy, look,
that's why she's got rabid fans.
But Pat, she's also she lost 8K in 48 hours. Bunny Mommy's an exception to the rule.
She does good.
She's doing better than a lot of these other girls.
Big lady.
This is another
big bank account.
This is another user that doesn't have big bank account for a big lady. That's buxom bank account. And this last user at 6 Sex Planes, she said, "It's important to say we all don't support our government. We're suffering about it all time now. We're just all shocked." And so
we got to get this chick some of Bunny Mommy's food because she looks seriously emaciated.
Pat, that's what people have different flavors.
I'm just saying.
You need to stop fat shaming Bunny Mommy.
This is like Mark's cats growing
Bunny
up.
Mommy's making more money than any of us. I'll tell you.
The skinny one's food.
Bunny Mommy. She's a fucking star.
Look, and OnlyFans heard these ladies. So despite sanctions making things more difficult for users in Russia and Belarus to post their OnlyFans content, OnlyFans is going to allow sex workers to get paid as long as sanctions don't completely shut the payments down all the way. They said this on Monday. "After experiencing financial restrictions, we have been able to restore account activity for creators in all countries. Their accounts will have full functionalities as long as we continue to have payment methods to support them." To which I have to say, like Mark was saying earlier, imagine the angry emails they got from the top users of these OnlyFans models.
I think this is a bad move. I think
videos, 48
I think
hours.
they should block them because all of the Russian OnlyFans people, plus more importantly, the users in Russia.
It's probably not Russian users watching these videos.
I know. That in that case, it doesn't matter. But for the Russian users that are watching, they would get so upset they would protest. Look, yes, of course, Bunny Mommy is not to blame for the invasion, but you gotta tighten the screws on the Russian people to get them to tell Putin to stop. I'm sorry. I think this is
most of these girls are already protesting the war. It seems like, and that's why people, they're sex workers basically.
Eventually, we might get to like Putin's girl, like
right,
his girl on OnlyFans.
He might be a Bunny Mommy fan. I mean,
could be. Well, they let her back on, so if he is, then he's happy. Next, taking it to Estee Lauder, which I thought was a foreign country. It's actually just a skincare and perfume factory in New York City, but it sounds international. So here we are. And let's just take it straight to the internet for this one. Chris Evans at Not Captain America tweets, Estee Lauder senior executive John Dempsey has been fired after posting this meme on his Instagram. He was making nearly $10 million a year. And after he took it down, he posted an apology saying he didn't read it before posting. Here's the meme, fellas. And it's Jay Dempsey at Jay Dempsey verified on IG says, "My N-word Snuffy done got the Rona at a Chingy concert." And then it's Big Bird in a coronavirus mask with Snuffleupagus under the weather in a bed.
What is he doing posting anything remotely close to this? Sesame Street meme?
Chingy hasn't toured forever.
Yeah.
Chingy doesn't do live shows anymore.
What's he tried to prove? Yeah, Chingy hasn't been around for a while.
Was he the right there guy? I like the way
Chingy was in Ludacris's clique,
Mm-hmm.
DTP.
Was that Chingy? Was
I think that might have been Chingy. Yeah.
Wow, Chingy. I mean,
yeah, I remember, there. You nailed it. Right there.
I remember enjoying his discography when he was around, but no idea how this guy got.
Or was he a lunatic? Was he a Saint Lunatic?
He was
at the Hotel Holiday Inn. Yeah, I think he was.
Guy. Yeah, he's a St. Louis guy. So everybody's very confused.
Oh, yeah.
So the guy took it down. Yeah. So he takes it down. He reposts it. He's like, "I'm ashamed. I never read it. Blah blah blah. I've like."
Look, I'm a sucker for chingy, okay? Anything comes by my face that has chingy on it, I'm throwing it up.
Yeah, but any cartoon meme, he shouldn't be like.
No, I
he's
know. It makes no sense.
Executive.
It's not even a good statement either way on COVID.
No,
it's not even clear what they're trying to say about COVID.
It's weird what he's like.
Oh, it's so fucking strange. Nobody gets it. And I've seen like people are trying to like trace it back to like small subreddits where the meme was created.
But why would the Estee Lauder guy be involved in small subreddits? He doesn't have time. He doesn't have time to get in the weeds on Reddit.
He does, Mark. He's
found
finding
Estee
memes like this. He's in the weeds. He's finding memes.
This is
like
the one.
The Snuffleupagus COVID meme.
The Sesame Street meme. I love it.
I have no idea.
Checks all the boxes.
No idea. That guy's a psycho. All right, last one in the international moment. France. To actual France, not Estee Lauder, which I thought was part of France, where one father who was desperate to do anything to stop his kids from staying up late on their phones went a little too far last week when he purchased a jammer to block the web connection for the children in his home between the hours of midnight and 3 a.m. When his children, he thought, were addictively scrolling social media. Problem was the device he bought not only blocked the internet access for his home, but the entire beach town of Messange in southwest France. That's about 1,000 people and tourists on top of that. And the jammer was so strong, it was actually blocking the internet in nearby towns as well. So,
damn, I paid for the jammer.
Yeah, how do they sell a product like this?
Well, they don't. It's so strong, it's completely illegal in the USA, and how most things. Guns and all that. But this in France, I guess you can buy it even though you can't use it. Now the guy's facing up to 6 months in prison and $35,000 in fines.
Oh man,
that's the problem with jammers. Do you guys remember the psycho in the States that like was sick of people texting? I think it was near DC. He was sick of people texting on the road on like 95. So he bought a jammer and he jammed up everyone on the highways' cell phones. But then people were getting in like deathly accidents. Right. No, people couldn't call the cops. And like people were getting in accidents and people were dying and the ambulances weren't arriving on time because this guy didn't want people texting and he jammed up everyone's cell phones and no one could use a cell phone on the road. Yeah, it's a problem. So the jammers are illegal. That guy should be in deep prison as well. Just like this fucking poor dad. I mean, he's probably gonna go to jail for a little bit, but
just unplug the fucking router, moron.
Yeah,
right. I mean, no.
He's too lazy for that.
As a guy who would look into something like this,
schedule it. Yeah.
He needs to go to jail. I'm sorry. When you start Googling like jammers, what does a jammer do? Range of a jammer, cost of a jammer, where you can get a jammer. Is a jammer legal? He's doing all this.
It's
jammer,
true.
Jammer equals slammer, right?
Yeah, it's pretty easy to look up. And guys, before we move on, since we were talking about Russia, just wanted to remind everybody, go to predictit.org/promo/hardfactor40 if you want to get your first $40 matched in the stock market of politics, because tonight is the State of the Union address, March 1st, right?
That's right.
So if you had followed Mark and my suggestions, you would be up a shitload of money in the Russia and Putin mentions, because 11 or more went from 38 cents when we talked about it first to 69 cents now, a double up. And Mark's bet is the second highest at 7 mentions. So that went from like 3 to 7. So you're already winning money. If you
might have to sell that for a double up. Because I think it's going to go 11. I might have to sell that for a double up.
I agree.
I put it all in.
Brag about it, but yeah
he's going to go 11 or more for sure.
It's a good. The other mention market is how many times Biden will mention price regarding inflation, price of goods and stuff. 8 or more is 34 cents. 5 is second place, 11 cents.
I'm hopping on that 8 or more.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, I like the over in both of those, but you never know. Price he might want to shy away from. So maybe a low one there. Look, and you
might say cost.
What's that? Yeah, cost. That's true.
Read the rules.
Read the rules.
Read the rules.
Predictit.org/promo/hardfactor40. Type in that specific URL and you can get up to $40 match on your first deposit in the stock market of politics. Perfect night to join State of the Union.
That's beautiful. Really the only way you can get through a State of the Union. All right. Let's do the last story. So, as I mentioned earlier, Texans are pretty particular about their barbecue. Am I right?
Brisket down here.
But it is true. I mean, Texas, after you move away, you miss that barbecue.
Oh, look, we love barbecue in Texas. Barbecue, breakfast tacos, and queso are the 3 food groups here in Texas. And which is why it should come as no surprise that a man shot multiple barbecue workers over shoddy barbecue, pun intended. You know what I'm saying? Shot them up because it was bad barbecue. If you don't,
They serve that dry, huh? That extra lean.
you're onto something. If you don't get the barbecue right, you can expect some blowback from a Texan. And 36-year-old Andre Thomas of Harris County, which is in Houston, Texas, is facing 2 charges of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and burglar of habitation. I don't know what that is. After a horrible, no good visit to Dickey's Barbecue Pit earlier this year.
Okay. So Dickey's is like a chain.
It's a chain. It's everywhere.
It's not everywhere. It's around.
It's around.
It's around.
I think it's Dallas-based chain, right?
It's kind of like Rudy's or something like that.
No, don't put
Rudy's-
Dickey's in the
Rudy's
same.
way better than
No,
Dickey's.
I don't mean quality of barbecue. I mean in terms of like how often you see it.
No Rudy's employees are getting shot for bad barbecue.
No.
This is Dickey's.
Also,
Thomas-
at Rudy's, you can be like, I want that moist. Don't fuck around with that lean.
Extra moist.
Mm-hmm.
Call it extra moist there. Thomas ordered a word that no girl's attracted to. You extra moist girl? Thomas ordered a to-go order, and like so few of us do when we pick up our to-go orders, he forgot to check inside the bag. Whoops, right? So when he finally did check in the bag when he got home, what he found was horrifying. There was not enough barbecue sauce for his barbecue.
Oh no.
He had some naked ass barbecue and no extra sauce in the bag to put on the barbecue.
See, I
The
think
meat.
Dickey's is definitely one of those places where you're expected to kind of sauce yourself.
Although they also have teenagers
But
working.
he did
at
a to-go
Dickey's.
order. They didn't give him those little mini cups that he needed. Will
Okay,
It's
but he
to-go
did
order.
walk into the shop. There was this
no drive-through.
drive through
Yeah.
to go.
So that's right there. You know,
Yes.
that would drive any man insane, right? And what Thomas did next was totally reasonable by anyone's account. I'd say even restrained, as he picked up the phone, called Dickey's Barbecue Pit, and said, "Excuse the hell out of me, but I'm just a man looking for some sauce on his barbecue, and I was denied that inalienable right by you." And the workers, realizing they'd fucked up big time. I mean, not enough barbecue sauce. That's the type of amateur hour bullshit that topples the brand. So they realized, they fucked up big time, and they started panicking and promising to make things right for Thomas, maybe offered a refund or a gift card for next time. But Thomas couldn't hear the words coming out of the in over their heads Dickey's drive-through employees' mouths. He just heard noises like Charlie Brown, and he was seeing red like the color of sauce he was sorely missing.
He didn't care that they were apologizing.
Oh, they could have offered him the moon. It was too late.
Damage is done.
Damage is done.
Colt
So-
now.
So he told the employees, "I'm going to see you real soon," hung up the phone and headed back to the store he was humiliated at. Once there, he marched in the store and told them that what they did was wrong and that, quote, "I'll come back and shoot up the place." So they told him to leave. And
Over some sauce?
over some barbecue sauce. Yeah, that was missing. They told him to leave, and Thomas did, but he did not go far as he waited in his car in the parking lot, muttering "barbecue sauce" over and over again. He waited hours, biding his time by saying "barbecue sauce" a few thousand times, and waited until the employees that don't know what the fuck they're doing left for work for the day. So he waited out the shift. I mean, obviously, let's face it. You can't, it's not like he was dealing with the A squad, so I don't expect they were pulling a double, but he probably waited a few hours if they were pulling a 4 to 6 hour shift in the parking lot for this B squad employees to leave. And Thomas did see the 2 main culprits get in the same car to leave. Luckily for him, they carpooled, so it was a 2-for-1 scenario. Otherwise, he would have had to choose who fucked him over the worst to go shoot that one person, because you can't go 2 directions at one time. So luck had turned around at this point for the painful start of the day that Thomas had, and God was smiling upon him as he followed the 2 idiots that were leaving for work in their car and allowed him to pull up next to them on the road and empty a clip into the car, yelling, "Get sauced, you bastards!"
Jesus.
Thomas, fortunately, is as bad a shot as he is a human being, and while 5 bullets did strike the driver, only the driver's arm was shattered and no vital organs were hit. The driver's going to be fine. Some rehab on the arm.
goodness.
And the passenger escaped completely unharmed, so he missed the
So he
passenger
just
completely.
hit the guy's arms. He completely
He
missed
missed.
both people.
He emptied a clip and he only hit arm.
Only hit the
from
arms
point blank
that were
range.
grabbing the wheel. Oh my! Thankfully, he's such a bad shot. Oh.
Yeah. You're not going to
Attempted murder.
believe this, but Thomas has a criminal history dating back, 15 years ago. He was
Shouldn't that even be worse than attempted murder? I mean,
he was currently out on bond at the time of the incident for facing 5 other felony charges, including retaliation, harassment, felon in possession of a weapon, which he kept on this other charge too, assault of a police officer, and assault on a family member. So Thomas gets hot quick.
At the bond hearing, they got to tell Thomas, like, Thomas, no situations where you might not get what you want and be unhappy about it. Okay, that includes Dickie's barbecue joint. That includes McDonald's, Wendy's, and really any fast food restaurant.
This guy.
Yeah, could you imagine running like role playing scenarios with Thomas before he gets released from jail? Okay, let's say you pull up to Dickie's and you get home and there's no barbecue sauce.
You say Dickie's? I'm firing my clip. Not
Come on,
Dickie's.
dry ribs.
Let's pick something else in Dickie's.
You must strap the knot.
Let's move on. It's like the Rorschach test with him. It always ends up with him emptying a clip. And that's it for Hard Factor today. We need to bring up the wheel. By the way, which one's worse, that guy or the guy smearing poop?
Oh, poop guy.
Poop guy, dude.
You think poop's worse?
Gotta be worse.
I mean, at least you can.
Because the other guy's bad aim. He didn't kill anyone.
He just got shot in the arm. He's going to be okay.
It's a good point, Pat. There's absolutely no motive for the poop guy.
We've all felt how Thomas felt when we got home.
Wes, can you pull up the...
And didn't have sauce.
Yeah, I got it.
We just didn't take it there, okay?
Thomas, man. They should definitely role play with him. Yeah, I agree. I think the poop guy's worse.
For sure.
Yeah.
Although being Thomas's role play guy could be worse, the worst job of them.
Yeah. It sounds like being
you
Thomas's
can't
cousin's-
rubber stamp his release until he understands he can't pull guns on people.
Assaulting a family member. You know, it's like it was his cousin. Like being Thomas's cousin's tough.
Oh yeah, he's there's a lot of family gatherings when you were a kid, and you're like, oh man, Thomas is gonna come over and beat the shit out of me.
Mom, I know he's my cousin, but I don't like hanging out with him. Oh, look at this update on the wheel.
Look at Wes. Yeah, he customized it.
A little customization.
Oh, wow.
All right, here we go. Cup of coffee in the big time.
Let's see.
YouTube.com to see the new wheel.
Man, that's a nice wheel.
That's me.
Oh, look.
Mark.
I got a cat. I got a cat on mine.
Well, handing it back and forth. West Mark. Well, A-B.
All right, TikTok.
Well, let's see. Oh, it's not going to be.
Looks like Pat.
Looks like a
blonde Pat.
See out there.
That's
nice.
the beeve right there.
That is the beeve.
Look at that. Nice.
Okay.
Perfect. Well, there you go. Another show's in the books. On the road to 1,000. Oh, we got to get a trivia book soon, right? We got to do that sometime in March.
Oh
Yeah.
Let's do a trivia in March. Anything else? Maybe State of the Union. Maybe we'll do a live stream after for 30 minutes. We'll see. We're kind of busy that night, but we'll try to do something. Maybe some predicted markets. Get in the Discord, patreon.com/hard factor. Let's try to make some money together, at least live betting the State of the Union tomorrow night, March 1st, whatever. And yeah, most importantly, everyone, please have a great fucking day.